Hey everybody, welcome back. Mike from Spectre Comics. Today I'm drawing and talking about Venom. Now the Tom Hardy sequel, Venom Let There Be Carnage, comes out this Friday, October 1st, 2021, or came out depending on when you watch this video. Now before I started this drawing, I was searching for a good reference image and I could not find a really good one that I wanted to draw. I tried going through all of my Ultimate Spider-Man comics to see if there was a cool-looking character image by Mark Bagley, and I mentioned in a previous video, my Ultimate Spider-Man video, which I'll link in the description below, that his version of Spider-Man was my favorite. I was hoping that his version of Venom would also be a really good one that I could use as a reference image. So I went through the entire Venom storyline in Ultimate Spider-Man, and I couldn't find one drawing that I wanted to draw. The problem with Venom art is, because he's this alien symbiote blob, a lot of artwork feels very organic and less defined. Ultimately, I did end up finding something on the internet to base this drawing off of. So as I mentioned already, Venom 2 comes out in a few days, and it's the first movie that I'm actually interested in seeing in the theater since we've been locked down. However, I'm not excited to sit in a theater with a mask on for 2.5 hours. Now, I like the first Venom movie a lot and definitely want to see Let There Be Carnage. I'm also excited to see how Venom and his storyline ties into the greater Spider-Verse. I do hear that there's an exciting post-credit scene, and hopefully it alludes to something in that regard. Now, Venom, originally being an enemy of Spider-Man, teamed up with him to defeat Carnage in the comics. Now, since Carnage will be the primary villain in Venom 2, and there will be no Spider-Man in this movie, Venom and Eddie Brock look to be going it alone to face Carnage and Cletus Cassidy. Now, rumor has it that they will be mentioning Spider-Man in the movie to lay the groundwork for future crossovers. Perhaps the post-credit scene will give us a little hint at what's to happen between Spider-Man and Venom, hopefully. In the upcoming movie, Let There Be Carnage, we see in the trailer Woody Harrelson's Cletus Cassidy bites Eddie Brock and swallows a big chunk of Alien Symbiote. Cassidy is on his way to his execution while the symbiote was growing inside, and it looks like the symbiote bursts out just as they started the execution, and thus Carnage has been born. Now, in the comic version of this tale, Eddie Brock and Cletus Cassidy shared a cell. Not sure how Eddie ended up in prison, and not sure how he ended up in Cassidy's cell, but they shared a cell, and out of nowhere, the Venom symbiote appears to free Eddie. Now, after Eddie escaped as Venom, breaking through the walls of the cell, Cletus was left behind, but so was a small piece of the Venom symbiote, which ended up merging with Cassidy, creating the new symbiote Carnage. Not sure where Cassidy being a biter came from, though. So now, where Venom is much stronger than Spider-Man, Carnage is stronger than Venom and Spider-Man combined. And like Venom, Carnage can absorb damage and heal quickly. Both Venom and Carnage can project an organic webbing, lifting that ability from Spider-Man. Now, in the movie series, Venom never merged with Spider-Man, thus did not acquire his abilities the same way he did in the comics. And I don't remember Venom swinging on webs in the first movie, but he does in the comics. Both Venom and Carnage are affected by sound, and a high enough frequency can incapacitate them. And we remember that's how Peter Parker escaped the Venom symbiote in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 movie. Carnage has an ability that Venom doesn't have, though, which is that he can turn parts of his body into stabbing weapons and projectiles, and he can fight with a ranged attack, which we actually see in the movie trailer. It will be interesting to see, though, how the movie interprets Carnage. So this movie comes out in a few days. I'm really looking forward to seeing it, and I'm hearing good things from people who have actually seen it already. Now let's talk about the drawing behind me. I'm drawing on a Wacom Cintiq 13HD tablet and using Photoshop Elements 2019 as usual. Now, using the reference image I found, I sketched out the pose. I wanted the image to be where the head was a 3/4 turn and not overly exaggerated. Now, Venom is usually drawn with his lower jaw really extended and his snake-like tongue kind of sticking out and lashing about. I didn't want to go too crazy with that, so I've done it, but at a little lesser degree than you usually see. Now, since the head was the focus of my drawing, I didn't want that to be too crazy. Now, Venom is this hulking creature with huge muscles and usually some sort of tentacles coming off his body. His design kind of looks like a combination of Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk after they just jumped out of a vat of oil. Now, since Venom is this huge bulking humanoid and can change his body shape at will, it's hard to make a mistake when drawing him because you can be very flexible with his body and his pose. Now, after I mapped out the head and the musculature, I fine-tuned the line work and thickened up the line weights. Now, for the painting of him, I used 3 layers. A white layer used as the base, which separates him from the background, a dark purple layer, and a black layer of paint on top because Venom is mostly black with some white accents. The next thing I did was I duplicated my black line layer and turned it white. So I put the white layer on top of the black line layer, and then I reduced the opacity by 50% so the line work would kind of subtly define the body against the black paint layer. So you can see the musculatures and the line work of the body, but it was very subtle and still dark. So more of a gray tone within the body. And I removed the purple and black painted areas from the eyes and the mouth so I could highlight the teeth and paint the tongue red. Next thing I did was I activated the top black layer so I could work on that layer. And using the polygonal marquee, I isolated areas one at a time, and using the brush eraser tool with a medium spread, I carefully shaved away the black to reveal the purple underneath. The result is a nice effect, turning the purple into a subtle highlight wherever light hits Venom's body. I got this look from the Ultimate Spider-Man comic, so one thing I did take from Mark Bagley, or not Mark Bagley because he just did the drawing, but whoever did the colors used kind of a purple effect on Venom's body, so I kind of mimicked that. I liked that look. I added some shadow to the red parts of the mouth and tongue, but I purposely kept the teeth a gleaming white so they'd really stand out. I also added some shadows around the edges of the eyes to give them a little more depth, so they subtly get dark and lighten in the middle, so it really makes them look like a lens, like it's curved. And finally, I add the white spider logo across the chest. Now, the movie version of Venom does not have this, again, because he never merged with Spider-Man, and I think that's where that came from. But I drew it anyway because it looked cool. So here's my final image of Venom. Follow my Instagram at Space Misadventures so you can check it out. So if you can be the first to point out the error in the chest region, I will pin your comment at the top. So that is it for this video. If you check out the movie, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time. Have a great day.